Hey everybody, got another match in the Mogami here, and this is easily the best match I've ever had in World of Warships, and it will probably continue to be the best match I've ever had in World of Warships for quite some time. I don't think I'm going to be able to top this. Now, I wasn't sure if I should commentate this or not. I decided just to do it anyway, but basically the point is, this match wasn't so much me trying to be good, but was more me kind of just playing the game for, I guess, to take my mind off something. I wasn't really paying attention to what I was doing, had some music going, didn't put the most thought into my tactics this match. And apparently I managed to achieve the same kind of zen that Funky J-Rob uses when he's playing World of Tanks, because holy shit. So just to do a quick recap of the Mogami, for those of you who may not have seen my previous videos on it, I run with the 15 6-inch guns, which is 5 triple turrets of 6-inch guns. I hope I said 6-inch, not 16. And they give you higher rate of fire and more shells in the air, therefore much better chance of hitting. They don't have quite the armor-piercing capability or damage output that the 8-inch guns have per barrel, but having 15 guns versus 10 and 2 rounds a minute higher rate of fire is a pretty serious difference in my book. I know people prefer the 8 inches, some prefer the 6 inches. It really comes down to personal preference, but personally I like to have more guns. First thing that is spotted within my range is the enemy Nagato, their highest tier battleship. My first salvo is a little too long and a little behind, so I adjust my aim and wait and see what happens. Much better. Now, I'm not likely to be able to kill this guy with my guns alone, but while he is at this range, I'm doing a decent amount of damage to him, so if I can continue that until my own team's battleships or some of the other ships can get some damage on him, then it will do everyone a big favour, really. Some smoke goes down around him though, which means he's accompanied by at least one destroyer, which are more my speed. Sure enough, a Sims emerges from the smoke, and then a Nicholas. Now, because the Sims is still caught up in the smoke screen and is occasionally popping in and out of sight, I decide to go for the Nicholas. He is also firing at me. The Sims is not having quite the same effect, and so I remove him. Again, I don't use the aim mod. I'm just used to figuring out how much I need to lead various ships into different distances to hit them. It's an acquired skill. If you play the game for long enough, you'll pick it up. It really doesn't take that much. The enemy Omaha realizes he's made a terrible mistake by charging towards me and begins backing up. In fact, backing up is literally the worst thing he could do, because it allows me to do this. If he'd instead charged towards me, he would have had a much better chance of actually surviving. Meanwhile, I'm able to put a couple of torpedoes into the enemy Nagato, 2 torps. It doesn't start any flooding on him, unfortunately. They must have both hit along his torpedo bulge, but it puts out quite a bit of damage and helps my teammates sink him. Now, the enemy cruiser goes down as well, and that leaves the Sims, who is now charging through a strait to my left. Because of the island between us, if I fire my guns, I'm not likely to hit him, so I hold my shots for now and just consider my options. If he keeps his current course and speed, and I do the same with mine, I will eventually be able to get shots into him. It looks like he's charging towards our other Mogami. Maybe he's hoping to torp it, maybe he's just trying to escape. I don't know what's going through his head. But I know what's about to go through his head as soon as I round this island, which is a bunch of 6-inch shells. The other Mogami gets some decent hits in. My first salvo doesn't quite find its mark, and you can see him dropping torps there. Thankfully not at me. My second salvo is able to finish him off.
Enemy destroyer blown up.
By now there's a Minikaze who's come flying around the island. It looks like he's trying to kill our near-dead Atlanta. And so I come to the Atlanta's aid with a really quite nice broadside. I'm not going to fake modesty, that was a fucking awesome shot, quite frankly. And again, it comes down to really just having a feel for your guns, and especially at close range. The Mogami just shreds destroyers. So now I have a moment of calm to sort of look back at what I've done. At this point I've killed 4 of the enemy ships. I've severely damaged at least 1 other. And, you know, this is a good game by anyone's standards already. If I was to get sunk by a stray torpedo here, I wouldn't even be mad, because I've had a really awesome game, and my team are almost certainly going to win this now because of my actions. Luckily for me, I'm not about to get sunk by a random torpedo. I am in fact about to be within gun range of most of the remaining enemy ships. One of their Atlantas appears to be trying to hide on the safe side of an island channel. Well, it might be safe from the rest of the team, but it is not safe from me. He switches targets as soon as he realizes what he's in for. You can see some friendly shells moving over my decks there towards the destroyer on the right. And I begin focusing the Atlanta. And once again, these Citadel hits start rolling in enormous damage.
Problem solved, sir. Turret critically damaged.
The unfortunate Atlanta really doesn't have a chance. He's in open water, he's not changing course, he's not changing speed. It's effortless, really. And so down he goes. However, the other Atlanta is taking shots at me, as is the destroyer. In fact, both of the remaining enemy Atlantas are now focusing fire on me, and it is causing me a hell of a lot of pain.
Enemy severely damaged.
Both Atlantas can keep up a steady stream of fire. If you actually fire the turrets on an Atlanta sequentially, you never stop shooting. You literally just shoot forever. It's pretty obscene. And so, it's not something I really want to be in the way of. I focus the lower health Atlanta, get rid of his DPS, and then start working on the full health guy. He's booking it for the nearest island. I don't blame him, I would too. And so I only have a limited amount of time to get my shots in. I've got to try and make them count here. I'm losing torpedo tubes, but I don't really care at this point. I've still got my guns, and my guns are what are doing the work. You can see north of me, directly north of me, the enemy destroyer has actually run himself onto the edge of the map in his mad panic, trying to get away from me. I decide to cease fire on the Atlanta, as he's now behind the island, and switch targets to the destroyer here. Now, Mr. Zinc Carbonate is not doing a whole lot with his guns at this point, but if he does get within... well, he is within torpedo range. If he gets a good shot on me with his torps, it's all over. I lead into his turn a little too much, unfortunately, and miss him with that front turret only salvo. But I've now found my mark, and there's nothing he can do about it. He does get a spread of torps out, but he gets blown up in the process. Unfortunately, there's just no way I can dodge these, and the furthest one on the east side hits me. I'm not going to complain about a 7-kill match. I am definitely not going to complain. That was so much fun.